Hi, my name is Jessica Geary, and I'm a golfer at Stephen F. Austin, and today I'm going to be reading Chapter 3 of Dog Days. Without Gavin having any say whatsoever, the details of his little job are arranged. The next morning at breakfast, he finds out all about it. They are sitting at the table, and Danielle is pouring the last bit of juice into her glass, all the way up to the brim as she laughs to herself. He ignores her and protests. Danielle took all the juice. His father says. He's reading the newspaper and sipping his coffee, and Gavin knows he's not really listening. Then he hears tiny clicks on the hall tiles, growing louder, coming toward the kitchen. Next, Gavin hears Aunt Myrtle's voice. "Careful with that, Vester. Oh, just take my cases on upstairs." Then Carlotta rounds the corner and stands expectantly in the kitchen doorway, painting her little face surrounded by Grezzo Q orange fur that looks prickly enough to cut someone. She stares at Gavin. Then one side of her thin black dog lips curl up, and Gavin hears a low, throaty sound. "Now don't do that, Carlotta." Aunt Myrtle chuckles, and reaches down to scoop the dog up in her arms. She tickles her stomach and coos. "There's my baby," she says, pursing her lips. Gavin wanted to gag, and it's almost worse than eating peas. His mother appears and ushers Aunt Myrtle to the area behind the children's gate that's blocking off the back porch. "Here, Auntie, this is what we have set up for Carlotta." Aunt Myrtle looks over at the straw basket where Gavin's mom usually keeps newspapers. It has been quite it has been nicely lined with an old baby quilt. She sniffs and gives Carlotta a squeeze as if she was to protect her. She sits down at the table with Carlotta. Gavin's eyes grow big as he looks from his mother to Aunt Myrtle and then back to his mother again. His mother turns to his father with an expression on her face that Gavin knows is a cry for help. Gavin can feel his father sighing to himself. He gets up, walks over to his aunt, and gently takes Carlotta from her arms. "I'm sure Carlotta is going to like her new quarters," he says. He places the dog on her new bed on the back porch. Carlotta scratches at the quilt for a few moments and then settles down with her head resting on her paws. She looks at Aunt Myrtle as if pleading her case. Aunt Myrtle, her mouth set in a grim line, says, "I'd like some tea, please. That is, if you have tea." "Of course." Gavin's mom jumps up to turn on the burner under the kettle. This is what Gavin learns from Aunt Myrtle while she sips her tea. She isn't hungry for anything else. Gavin will walk Carlotta once a day after school, so he must come home right away. No messing around. If, and this is a big if, he performs his job satisfactorily, Aunt Myrtle will pay him enough to replace Danielle's snow globe with something like it. "Though I know you cannot replace the exact snow globe," Aunt Myrtle adds, looking over at Danielle with sympathy. "I got that snow globe in New York City at the choir fest," Danielle says. Gavin rolls his eyes. He doesn't believe for a minute that Danielle is still at all that sad about that dumb snow globe. She's just happy about his troubles. Gavin is sure. He looks over at Carlotta. She's up on her short little legs, turning around and around on the folded quilt. It would be so much better if she were a real dog, something bigger, something that could be a true friend. At least Carlotta is ignoring him and not giving him mean, threatening looks for now. When Gavin enters the classroom of his new school, Carver Elementary, he sees that his teacher, Miss Shelby Ortiz, who does not know how great he is at times table, soccer, and skateboarding. He has assigned problems, problems, problems as the morning journal topic. He stares at it, then he looks about Miss Shelby Ortiz's two names. He heard one of the bossy girls, Deja, explain to her friend Nikki that modern women, up-to-date women, like keeping their own names now. The names they grew up with. Nowadays, Deja had said, women don't have to have their husband's name at all, and that's the way she's going to do it when she grows up. She's going to keep her own last name or stick it together with her husband's name, just like Miss Shelby Ortiz. Gavin doesn't know if he likes that Deja girl. She reminds him too much of his sister Danielle. Other kids are staring at the morning journal topic too. Richard, the cause of Gavin's trouble, isn't even bothering to look at it. Gavin can see he's playing with some rubbery thing in his desk. Danielle would call Richard a knucklehead. From Gavin's seat behind him, he gets a pretty good view of the area of toys Richard brings to school. Miss Shelby Ortiz seems to be pleased with the topic she's come up with. She smiles encouragingly at all the students who are getting ready to write. I chose this topic because I realized that life is like math. How is it like math, class? Oh no, Gavin thinks. He hopes that she doesn't start calling on kids and getting around to him because he definitely doesn't know how life is like math. 2 points for the table, the student who tells me how life is like math. Miss Shelby has them sitting at cooperative groups of 4 desks, which she calls them tables. They are competing all week. Then on Friday, the winning table earns a big gold star on the winner's board. And at the end of the month, the students at the winning table get to put their hands in the grab bag and extract a reward. They aren't really cheesy things like pencils and erasers. They're different kind of prizes, like small magnifying glass, kaleidoscopes that can fit in your pocket, miniature tic-tac-toe sets. Now the hands begin to fly up. Suddenly Gavin knows exactly how life is like math, and he just bets that most of the answers the kids are going to give aren't going to make sense. And there's a bunch of people who don't even have an answer by raising their hands anyways. Might as well put an end to it right now. He raises his hands too, but Miss Shelby Ortiz is busy giving some of the knuckleheads a chance. Because it takes 365 days to get throughout a year, Ralph calls out. Miss Shelby Ortiz looks at him for a moment. No, she says slowly, frowning just like a tiny little bit. Then she looks over at Richard, who is uncharacteristically raising his hand with a calm look on his face. She calls on him and cocks her head challengingly. Because you all have the time to be solving problems just like math. Gavin feels himself deflate a little bit. That's just what he was going to say, and he thought he was the only one thinking of it. Shelby Ortiz looks especially thrilled. That's right, Richard, she says, beaming. That's exactly right, class. Think about it. In life, you solve one problem after another. No one's life is problem-free. So I want you to think of a problem that you have right now and how you plan to solve it. Let's look Let's have some input before you get to write. She looks around at all of them. Gavin looks around too. Some of the kids still look puzzled. Others are eager to begin. Who wants to go first? That stuck-up girl, Antonia, raises her hands. Miss Shelby Ortiz calls on her. Yes, Antonia. I have a problem to solve. Go ahead, tell us what it is. My grandmother's coming for a visit. She always brings me a gift that... She pauses, searching for the right words. I don't like her presents. They're never anything I like. I want to ask her to skip the present and just give me the money she would have spent instead. Gavin sees Miss Shelby Ortiz's face go from interested to puzzled. Her lips are even part in amazement. Tonia, that would be rude. No one gives gifts to cause displeasure and happiness. When someone gives you a gift, they're trying really hard to make you happy. If you can say that to her, your grandmother will look back on all the gifts she's given you over the years and thinks perhaps you never liked any of them. Can't solve your problems by hurting someone's feelings. Gavin can't tell how Antonia feels about this. She looks thoughtful, like she's planning on not following Miss Shelby Ortiz's advice, like she's going to put her plan into action. Anyway, Antonia's probably thinking that Antonia, knows best. Class, Miss Shelby Ortiz says, I'm sure you know what I want you to do, so let's get started. What do teachers always say? Let's and we and our, like they have to do the assignment too. When they don't, Gavin thinks. It's just something he wonders. He opens his journal, which has a lot of blank pages. Since he's new to the school, on the cover is his name written by the teacher in neat block letters. He puts the date in the upper right corner of the page, just like Miss Shelby Ortiz has instructed the class to do. Of course, there are those who have been told to do this every day. Gavin wonders about them too. Then he dives in. I have a problem. The beginning of this problem wasn't even my fault. It was the other guy's fault, Richard. He got me in trouble on Saturday. He broke my sister's special snow globe, and now I have to walk this horrible dog to get money to pay for it. She can't even get an exact copy, because she got that snow globe in New York. Not here. Now I have to walk this ugly dog every day. A dog that's all the time giving me mean looks and showing her teeth, and looking like she would like to bite me. I have to be with this dog every day, which is too much. And my aunt, who's really my dad's aunt, will probably give me just $1 for all my work. I just wish this the last problem I was going to have my whole life, but it probably won't be. Gavin reads over what he's written. He likes it. He's just in time because Miss Shelby Ortiz orders the whole class to stop writing. She has a girl named Rosaria to collect the journals, knowing that the teacher's going to read it. He goes back over it in his bind. He decides he likes it. Wait, he's written. He hands it over with pride. Did you get in trouble? Richard asked as they walked to the softball area on the schoolyard. Yeah, I got in trouble. Now I have to take care of my great aunt's dog to earn money to give to my annoying sister. That's not so bad, Richard says. Not for you, Gavin says. But I said catch. Gavin doesn't know why Richard keeps saying that. You say catch as if you were throwing it. I didn't have time to get my hands up. Well, can you go skateboarding after school? I told you. I have to walk my great aunt's dog. What's a great aunt? It's the aunt of your mother or your father. Richard gives this some thought. Then she must be really old, huh? She's pretty old, Gavin agrees. I know, Richard says. I'll help you. Gavin thinks about this. Just how much help will Richard be? Not much, he decides, but still, he wouldn't mind the company. Okay, he says. Come to my house about 4. Gavin plans to have a snack first before taking Carlotta out. He always comes home from school starved.